We have made it back to California. We do have something pretty interesting though with the Datsun. This wheel is pointed this way, and this wheel is pointed this way. And I looked at that and I was like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Just the vibration from driving in the back of the truck has spun out all of the adjustable linkage in the control arms. Maybe it's just the driver's side, but I'll have to lift it back up, spin those back in, and then hopefully figure out a way to get this thing out of the U-Haul. Same thing, got a tow company to come to get it out of the back of the U-Haul. It's just too convenient. The Datsun is out with the truck, and the control arm was actually super easy to fix, just spun it back in. It was completely my fault. When I threw the suspension on in Denver, I didn't tighten I didn't even check any of the locking nuts on the control arms, so they just spun out from bouncing down the road. The tour, if you will, this is my shop. Right now, I'm actually working on a 2004 BMW R1100, making it a cool cafe. Got my CRF 450, getting this thing ready to go do the Baja. I have another 2004 1100 that was sort of started out as a donor bike for this one, but then I ended up getting a clean title for it, so we may end up just completely redoing that one too. A bunch of R6s back in the corner, but we're not going to talk about those. And other than that, it's just going to be Datsun all month, so we'll see how it goes. So we got the Datsun up on the lift. I'm going to be pulling the engine and drivetrain back out to address the clearance with the exhaust pipe, a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to start by just marking out everything and sort of getting a better idea of what things are going to need to be changed before we finish everything up. Yesterday was pretty successful. We got the engine and transmission out of the car, which again is ridiculously easy. Most of the bracketry made for all the other components that are going to need to be installed. A lot of it was actually pretty simple. We've got, this will be for the brake portioning control valve. We've got some captive nuts down for a line lock, a little bracket right here. That little guy's for the bleeder hose for the slave master cylinder, clutch slave cylinder. There we go. I was having some trouble with the headers hitting the control arm mounting point here. I hate it when shit rattles. I cut the kind of mounting housing and then just welded in a plate, and you can see it's I mean, we'll see if it hits or not, but just sort of took a couple, maybe half an inch off of it, and that should give me enough space that the headers will clear. Cut some holes for the wire looms to go through. I need to make the bracket for the hydraulic handbrake is going inside, then get everything ready to paint. I would not believe if I would have told myself this morning how difficult of a time I would have had with these captive nuts for the fuel lines and the brake lines, but they are mostly in now, which is pretty good. The brake lines, I actually ended up using mostly stock mounts pretty much everywhere in the car. The fuel lines running along the passenger side has been a nightmare. They're done now, finally, but I've gone through about 3 different sets of fasteners, nuts and bolts, problems welding, problems with the fasteners hardening from the heat, and then braking and shearing inside of it's just been a completely ridiculous day, and I'm not nearly as far along as I'd like to have been today. Now we are going to be moving on to making the mounting bracket for the fuel pump. I'm going to mount it on the outside of the fuel cell tray right in the back. It's in the stock location. I got to make a bracket for that, and then we'll pretty much be done, and we'll start spray painting everything. So I got the fuel pump bracket made, and rattle can the engine bay out because all of the chassis work should be done at this point. It's just primer right now. I'm going to shoot it with a coat of paint in the morning, start doing the brake lines and fuel lines.
Oh, dude, this lighting makes the dick look really good.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Well, it's raining today. I'm painting the car, of course. We've got pretty much everything done at this point. Engine bay's painted, all the underside's done. Sort of a rubberized undercoating, just okay. Inside, it's getting there. It's not done yet. We still got a couple layers to get on here. Gotta get some more paint cans before I can continue them all out right now. Gonna do white on the inside like the engine bay, and hopefully that'll make, you know, cool colors and whatnot stand out. Fuel cell tray turned out pretty cool, but it's getting there. The underside looks great, and slowly but surely. Oh, and then also this morning, well, I cleaned the engine and transmission off. It's much shinier now. So we just finished painting lots of shit, and we have an entire trash can full of rattle cans. This morning, I got the seam sealer in from Summit, so I finished seam sealing the whole car, and then I started painting it. All the body seams from the new panels are all done up on the inside and on the outside for most of them. Couldn't get to some of them from the underneath, but whatever. It's actually starting to look pretty solid. So I'm currently on my way to Techno Toy Tuning. Turns out they're actually just a couple hours away from me in San Francisco. We're gonna be stopping in and picking up some more parts for the Datsun, and hopefully kind of get a look at, I don't know, how they make their stuff. See what's cool.